My name is Andy Dinniman. I'm the Pennsylvania State Senator for most of Chester County. I entered a protest to the PUC. The administrative judge shut down the pipelines, both Mariner 1, the original pipeline, as well as Mariner 2 in West Whiteland Township. A township where their wells have already gone dry and there have been huge sinkholes. It's not a geological area where you should be building a pipeline. It's made of limestone. And further, they're going through one of the most populated areas in our county, in an area of which has a county library and a number of schools. But the fascinating thing about this issue, and what's something that progressives need to understand as well, is that this cuts across party labels, and it cuts across the progressive conservative line that is sometimes drawn. For example, some of the greatest opponents of the pipeline are Tea Party people because of the issue of eminent domain and government coming in and taking the land. Yeah. On the other hand, you have parents, and it doesn't matter party or political view, who are scared for their children who are adjacent to a pipeline, which if there's a leak, a firewall would be created and there's no escape. So what I'm trying to say, I'll show up at every group to try to encourage them, but ultimately it's my responsibility as a state senator to protect my constituents here, is to get the conservatives, the liberals, those who are not politically affiliated or those who've never been involved in an issue in their lives, all into one alliance, understanding that it's in their interest to do so. Often what happens in life, in the political life in America, is that those who are most impacted will come forward. And the great middle remains quiet. But when the great middle understands that their quality of life, their safety, that of their children or their parents in nursing homes and retirement centers are also threatened, they become politically involved and they become a tremendous new base.
So that great silent majority, which two different presidents have used, Trump and Nixon.
Yeah. Yes, and they're not wrong. That silent majority, this is a Republican county. I'm the first Democrat elected since the 19th century. But the point, and I get elected by now about 14–16% of the vote, but it's there, and it is the thing is, respect it. Don't knock it. Understand how they feel and find a way to get them involved.
Do you think that this is potentially a question that would be worth trying to bring to President Trump? That, I mean, who knows whether federally he can step in or not, but I mean, if he tweets out something saying that
at this point is still a state issue.
Yeah.
And you know,
it's not like that's ever stopped him before.
No, it hasn't. With President Trump's appointees to the public, to FERC, that controls interstate pipelines, I doubt that that's a possibility. But what we have been doing is, Pennsylvania has no regulations on pipelines. It's sort of like back to the coal era here. When the coal interests controlled the legislature. Now the Marcellus interests control it. However, because of the great public concern on this issue, I actually got 3 bills to regulate pipelines through the Consumer Affairs Committee, which oversees the PUC. I couldn't have dreamt that was possible last year. I couldn't have dreamt that I would even be able to get something that an administrative judge of the PUC would agree with everything, because the first thing I had to fight for was my right of standing as a legislator. And so the fascinating thing is this. The governor says it's the PUC's responsibility. The courts, when the people going to court, said this is the PUC. Their own judge has told them to stop. They potentially will make a decision this Thursday at their public meeting. This is a moment of truth for the PUC. And they'll either respond to that moment of truth, or they're going to feel the wrath of citizens who are going to protest. You know, there's another problem which you might not have thought about, and that is the PUC has a double responsibility. It's supposed to protect the public, but also to encourage the industry. Perhaps what I need to do is introduce legislation to say that it hasn't done it, and it's a conflict within the very legislation that was created.
Yeah, that would be like having the Department of Interior and the EPA literally run. Oh wait.
Yeah, no. But I think what the key for progressives to understand, and I consider myself such a soul, is that you have to. We don't attack this great group in the middle. We respect them, and we find ways to show that we really do represent their feelings, their concerns, their fears, their hopes. And when you do so, you'll be successful. That's been the route to my success in this county, which is a very Republican place. That when people see that, then party doesn't make much difference. What you say, it's that we can't be isolationists, in essence, in our progressive ideology. We need to explain it, and we need to show people how it's in their interest. And when we do so, we'll succeed. And here we have an opportunity to do that.